Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. We're making up probably about a month, but we missed you. Hopefully you missed us. A lot of things have happened. If we would start with the remembrance and dialogue, we had some people, Betty White, who would have turned 100 years old another week or so. We also had John Madden, the legendary coach and broadcaster for the NFL football. We lost Curly Cuff. We lost Lee Elder, who was the first black to participate in the PGA golf tournament. And then we lost nationally just a day ago, Sidney Poitier. He was the first black African to win an Oscar. And he was from the Bahamas, but he went to New York, and that's where he got his start. First of all, he's washing dishes to get into the door. And moving a little closer to home, we talk about the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews was murdered. We should never allow that to happen anymore. They do have a monument or memorial up in Washington, D.C. for the people who would like to go visit there. We lost a person that I knew very well, Pearl Woodley Allen. She died on about the 27th of December, and she was 82 years old. Her services was held today at Lawrence A. Jones Funeral Home. She grew up in Mississippi. You heard of Tunica, Mississippi. You heard of Sugar Ditch, and that's where Jesse Jackson went years ago. They had a problem, but what happened, they got a place right across from where they built all those beautiful casinos called Hollywood. It was nothing but a bunch of wooden shacks. But it was an economic boost that happened there in Mississippi based on a person selling land for them to build a casino. And just knowing Pearl, you think about Bobby Rush, you think about B.B. King, you think about Bobby Blue Bland, you think about Lil Junior Parker, and people like that at the juke joint. But today we got a very good show. We have with us members and founding members of the Kansas City Tenants, we'll say association. So are they on the phone?
Well, I don't have anybody, sir. Do you have, is Ira on the phone?
Oh, hold on, Ira. All right. Hold on, let me...
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by while we get Mr. Folks on the phone, please.
This is not a makeup, it's just something that we like to keep our people well informed and during the time we share. to take over a long period of time to bring the news to the people. And I said we lost people like Betty White, who would have turned 100 years old in about a week or so. We lost Sidney Poitier, 94 years old. We lost, and he was the first African American to win an Oscar. We lost John Madden, who was 95 years old, legendary coach of the Oakland Raiders, as well as a guru, if you want to say that, as a broadcaster. And we talked about Pearl Woodley Allen, who died at the age of 82. They had her funeral services today at Lawrence A. Jones Funeral Home, and she was from Mississippi. I happened to go down to Tunica, Mississippi, which out Highway 61 is only about 38 miles. I also went to Sugar Ditch, where Jesse Jackson went when they had a lot of problems. Land was sold to build some casinos, and now that's an economic boom in Mississippi. So today we have on our show the Kansas City Tenant Association. Do we have them on?
They're waiting for staff to let them in.
Okay, so we are doing Zoom. Stand by.
Okay. So how's the weather in Ferguson?
Cold.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, we just kind of set a little tempo, and I think we'll have a great show. And the Kansas City Tenant Association have made some tremendous inroads here in Kansas City. And as soon as we get some of the founding members, we'll tell you what their purchase is, how they got started. And I don't know, I asked before if they had such a same type of organization in St. Louis. And you said you didn't know if they have one now, but some time ago they had something similar to what we got here in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, we had a great one. Rita Gilkey was one of the starters because she came out of the public housing, and she was 50 minutes so. By the way, you got the Caldwell and Nancy on the phone. Mac, I couldn't.
It's not got an hour.
All right.
By the way, I got the assistant, one of the members of the KC Tenant, and they said the people are waiting to be phoned in.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
Well, right now we have Caldwell and Nancy on the phone.
Oh, we do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are you doing today, ladies and gentlemen?
Doing well. Happy New Year.
Well, we talk about the Kansas City Tenant Association. A lot of people might not be cognizant who didn't watch TV, because I was on just like on every TV station. Tell us your purpose, your mission, when you got started, and what are some of the things that you're helping the people here who, like yourself, need help. Any one of you. Do we have someone from the Kansas City Tenant Association on the line?
Yes, you do. My name
They
is,
got two of them on there.
hello?
Stand by. Working on it.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Tiana. Stand by.
Okay. Who do we have from the Kansas City Tenant Association on the line with us?
We have Tiana.
Caldwell and Nessie.
We have those two on the broadcast now, right?
Yes.
Let me repeat. Can you both hear me? KC Tenant Association?
I can hear you.
Okay. I asked, when you guys start, what is the purpose and the mission, and some of the things that people unfortunately probably miss, because you've been all over the airways, media, TV, and what have you, for the good things you're doing for the city.
Yes, sir. Well, the focus of our mission is to help the population and the Kansas City citizens of Kansas City get the proper human respect that they deserve. When regarding health, regarding housing, and regarding any social ability.
Well, let me ask you this. How effective do you think you've been, and what are some of the things you're working on to be more effective?
At this point, all the accomplishments that we have made, first there was the Tenant Bill of Rights that was passed before the current ordinance of right to counsel. So those are two major steps forward to a better community and to raise awareness that residents need to get involved and speak up and band together so that we can make a difference in society.
Well, let me ask you this. For the people who might be the first time they heard of the KC Tenant Association, kind of help us out. What was your Bill of Rights? What is that all about?
The Bill of Rights, I think Tiana would be better to explain that because she was in on that more than myself.
Is she with us?
Yes.
Oh.
Well.
This is MC Richardson with Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City. The question was asked by me, what came out of, what are the Tenants' Bill of Rights for first-time listeners or people who might not be cognizant, even though they live here in Kansas City, Missouri? Do we have her?
Yeah.
Young lady, can you hear us?
She may have dropped off. Hold on a second. Let me call her again here. I got Ruth on the line also.
And is Mac on?
Mac did not answer his phone.
Okay, Ruby. Ruby will be able to answer as well.
Okay,
Here.
let's hear from you, Ruby, till we get the other person back on the line.
Okay, so the Tenant Bill of Rights started because tenants were being treated very badly by their landlords. And so the Tenant Bill of Rights, which you can find out on the city's website, helps tenants to be able to have safe and healthy homes. And there's a lot of other rights in there, such as not being able to be discriminated against because of your sexual orientation, whether you have been a past felon, even if you've been evicted before. You know, the landlords come up with all sorts of gimmicks to keep you from getting in. So we got that passed. And like I said, you can also find it on the city's website. Just go out and look for Tenant Bill of Rights. And that got passed, I believe, back in 2020. And we also, right now, the mayor just signed our right to counsel, which means that regardless of income, you will now have representation when you go to eviction court, because we know that landlords are not renewing people's leases, they are illegally evicting people, and by having the tenant right to counsel, it gives you some sort of a sense of hope, because they can't just arbitrarily evict you because they just want you out. But really what we believe they are doing is not renewing the leases and kicking people out illegally so that they can raise the rent on their next tenant. And so right to counsel will be there to represent tenants who can't afford to counsel. And again, it doesn't matter what your monetary status is, because even just a medical bill could put someone up in a higher bracket, force them into bankruptcy, force them into losing their home as well. So at least with the Tenant Bill of Rights, you have a huge probability of staying in your home if you want to stay in your home. And then you could possibly also work out arrangements with your landlord if he's agreeable to that. So we have remedies that's going to help tenants who have been evicted. That's what the tenant's right to counsel is. They no longer have to show up in court worried about, oh, what am I going to do? Because once you get evicted, it goes on your record, And we are trying to prevent that from happening in the first place, which is another reason why we decided to form the Tenant Rights Council. So it will go into effect in June of 2022 this year. And so we're working on the implementation part of that, getting it together. But again, like I said, the mayor signed it into the city ordinance, so you should be able to look at that. I was one of the drafters of the ordinance, so was Mac, Nancy, and Tiana. And we had to put it together pretty quick. We also had other lawyers from out of state to help us with this ordinance, as well as the Heartland for Jobs and Freedom, which is Gina Chiala. So there were a group of us that helped draft this ordinance and get it to the point where it can now serve the tenants of Kansas City.
You know, I just want to interject this for the KC tenant people that's on the line, and hopefully the rest of them will tune in. This is being broadcast via Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. It's on Apple TV. It's also been podcast to 5 different countries, and this is a weekly show. Guess who's coming to Kansas City? And what we try to do is make everybody wake them up, or to provide no nonsense type of broadcast, and that's what we're doing today. And hopefully we'll get more people from KC Tenant and to work with the KC Tenant. Now let me ask you this. Do you have a central number or location and that people can reach you?
Well, we do have a location, but right now, due to the coronavirus and this flu rona, we're going to be doing everything again on Zoom. If you are having an issue, we do have a hotline, Hottie's number. If you hang on a second, I'll try and get that for you. And that is to help people who are facing problems with their landlords. So the number
I got it. You're ready.
Okay, Tiana. You got it, Tiana?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
816-533-5435 is our hotline. If you're having issues, if you need help with something, if you're a tenant, and I mean, you're also unionizing tenants and starting tenant unions in different neighborhoods as well as in different buildings. So if you know that you and your neighbors are having some issues and you want someone to help you to try to get some solutions there, please give us a call. Again, that hotline number is 816-533-5435.
Okay, for the benefit of the people, maybe they just now listen. Maybe you should have told your friends or something how to get on to listen. So get on YouTube, to get on Facebook. But we got 3 or 4 people besides and myself. What made you happen to become a member? What personal problem did you face, and how did you come about somebody help you to assist you to work with organizations such as KC Tenants?
Tiana.
Tiana Caldwell, leader and organizer with KC Tenants. I first got involved. I was one of the founding members of KC Tenants. And at the time that I got involved, I had just been diagnosed with my second diagnosis of cancer, ovarian cancer, and so I was actively in treatment when my landlord was trying to push me out and didn't want me to die in their unit. So I was actively in treatment, really sick. My son and my husband were both with me. We were homeless. We lived homeless for 6 months in hotels, and so we were able to find somewhere. And it was hard. We tried to get into all kinds of places, and we paid deposits and all this stuff and didn't get any of that back, and just kind of had to go through that process until we were given a chance. Once you've been addicted, for whatever reason it is, it follows you like a scarlet letter. It's impossible, nearly impossible to get back into housing and find stability. So that's why this is such a deep problem. It's connected to everything. There are kids in school who can't concentrate because they're homeless, and the schools are recognizing it. We just want to know this. We want the community to know, because we know there's community care.
Let me ask the engineer, Mr. Scott.
Yes, sir.
If somebody's listening, hopefully they are listening. Hopefully that everybody in the KC Tennis has told their friends how to listen to this very valuable broadcast. If they were to broadcast and want to get a message, Scott, what is the best way for them to get their message or their question answered?
The best way on Facebook is to go to the Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio page and make a comment on the video.
Also, KC Tennis has a Facebook page, and we have a Twitter as well as a TikTok. So you can find us on Facebook, kctennis.org.
All right, we need your input from our St. Louis area.
Yeah, well, first of all, okay, for people want to get in contact and make a comment, they can text either one of the people that's on the phone with us right now, okay, and get the question to them. Matter of fact, we had a show this afternoon. We had the mayor of Ferguson, Missouri on, and there's a complex here, okay, that she has started a similar organization that taking advantage of the eviction notice being served, people eviction, and she was able to create the same type of organization that they would prevent people from being put out, and the company would whip her to make sure that these have some information, like a better description, okay, before they could be evicted or even take care of the problem and remain tenants in the complex.
Okay, people from KC Tenants, you are very cognizant of this, and we're trying to get your word out. Now, future people, do you think there's a lot of people that not cognizant that you exist and they need to know about you and they want to get in but just don't know how? Any person from KC Tenant?
Is Mac on?
No, Mac is not on.
Tiana?
Yes. You can call me at 816-772-6674. My email is tiana@kctennis.org. I would be more than happy to connect you to whatever it is that you're looking for if I can't help you myself. I've been here since the beginning, so we will definitely get you what you need.
Okay, repeat that.
Okay, my phone number is 816-772-6674. My email is tiana@kctennis.org.
Okay, for the benefit, we realize, or we, take it for granted that this also is being experienced throughout, we'll say, the United States. Other people, they have the opportunity to listen in, hopefully. But this is not just a Kansas City type of a concurrence. It's something that might impact everybody in this nation, and a lot of people just don't know how. Now, you talk about people getting involved. Now, are these people that we used to have a group called the Welfare Right Mothers, was headed up by Dorita Henderson. I don't know if she's still with us living or not, but they used to do a lot of fighting. Now, what type of people are you targeting or looking for?
Half of the people in Kansas City are renters. They're people who are renting property. So, it's all of us. But it impacts half of the people here, and it impacts our community. It impacts homelessness and things like that. So, those people who are out there struggling and are one foot or one instance or crisis away from possibly being homeless. If you're in eviction court, if your home is being threatened in any way, if you don't have resources. We have people call about all kind of things. We'd be happy to connect with you and give you any information and resources that we have available.
Well, let's don't assume that people know when you say people Kansas City, the KC Tenant. What are your boundaries, and what does a person have to do? Can they go to a lot of people go to legal aid to try to get assistance. A lot of people just don't know. A lot of people might be homeless. Do they qualify to become members of the KC Tenant Association?
Oh, yes. We have a homeless union, Kansas City Homeless Union here that has formed, and one of our leaders put it together himself, being homeless, and he unionized his colleagues, his comrades, and they have come together and they have done a lot of work towards making things better for the homeless in Kansas City. And yeah, so yes, you do not have to have a home. We don't discount anyone. We don't turn anyone away. Please, if you need help, if you just want to come together with people and do something good, please come. We welcome all.
You know, the mayor just said that even though it's not 2023, but he's going to rerun for election. Was he a difficult person for you guys to work with? How did y'all win him over? Did y'all just go down there on a Thursday and just took over the council meeting?
Everything is about organizing. You know, you have to do your research, you have to cover all your bases, and you have to show up strong. But I will say that he did. There were promises that were kept. There were some things that we might have been disappointed about, but he did have a standing meeting with us that he agreed to every month. Since he's been in office, there are things that he did collab with us on. Of course, we made it no secret when we did clash, but all in all, I think that he did do his best to work with us, but also work with everyone else in Kansas City. He's everybody's mayor. We understand that.
Ruby, even though it wasn't your fault, you wasn't born here in Kansas City. You come here from Fort Worth, Texas, but what made you decide? Did somebody just kick you out, set all your properties out on the curb, have the police or the sheriff's department that comes, this person is no longer wanted here, they don't want to pay their rent? What was your situation, if you like to express that or tell the people here who are listening?
Well, first of all, I'm about justice, and I don't like for anyone to be treated unfairly. And given the fact that black and brown people are always mainly the main ones who get the end of the stick, so I was watching PBS, and I saw Tara, who is our director, can't pronounce her last name, and I contacted her to get involved because this is something that I truly believe in. Tenants have rights, even though they're treated as commodities. And that in and of itself is what brought me into the fold. Now, given my legal background, I'm pretty good at this, but we all come in for different reasons, and I'm so grateful to the organization because we have collective brilliance in this organization. It's not that just Tiana, me, Mac, or Nessie are the ones that's doing things. We take everything back to our base, and our base are members of KC Tenants. And with that, we give them the information that they need, and so that's how I got involved, and I reached out to Tara, and then there was a lady named Hobbs that contacted me. So I have now been with the organization over 2 years. I joined in November of 2019.
You know, it's a lady I've been knowing for years, Diane Charity. How does she fit in?
Lady Diane, Mama Diane. She is also a founding member with myself and a woman named Brandy Granado. So we were kind of the first 3 founding members and have been in it from the beginning.
I know this doesn't bring about a silence. I know y'all have something to say, some input. You're on this valuable time of Ferguson allowing us to do this, and just like you guys have to exist, so does this media outlet has to exist, and we're looking for sponsoring different people to do different things, so it'll be 24/7, 365, and add another day on leap year. So your assistance and input and financial donation is welcome.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that.
Why is everybody got quiet?
KC Tenants is also a 501c3 organization, so we would appreciate the same donations, okay? And everything that we do, we all volunteer, so none of us really have like a salary doing this. And we do it out of passion. It's our passion for the homeless people, for people who are being evicted, for people who don't know their rights as tenants. And so we try to help them in any way we can. And that hotline Hottie's number is the first step that they need to call. I mean, we're going to be working on other things as the year goes forward. I'm not going to let the cat out the bag at this moment, but we can definitely keep you guys posted. And yes, we do go down to City Hall quite a bit. We do meet with the mayor. And one of the things that we are actually looking to do is get social housing, which is very valuable. Anyone can live in social housing. It doesn't matter what your income is. And like, for instance, they have it over in Vienna and different places over in Europe that you might just want to check out. I can't think of one off the top of my head other than Vienna. And you also might want to check Uruguay. They have it as well. And so we brought in a couple of professors who have been working on social housing for the longest. And they really gave us an eye-opening about, like, the what was it, Nancy, what am I thinking? How public housing was really designed to fail. And and so we can get in that another time because that's a really, really long conversation to have. But we also meet with our council members as well. And so, and as Tiana said, we organize. That's what we do. I mean, it's not like we're some willy-nilly fly-by-night organization, because we're not. And when we approach them, you better believe we've done our research, so we know what we're talking about. And we are the experts because we are the ones that have that lived experience.
Now, for the benefit of people who have been listening, our Chiefs, Denver just scored, and they are losing at this point in the third quarter.
Oh, MG, really?
Yeah.
They did win?
No, they're losing. Denver just scored. Denver act like they should be seated number one, and they just scored a touchdown. It's in the third quarter.
Oh, wow.
The quarterback that's playing for Denver, came from Missouri also, Ken Rock.
Uh-oh.
And they said they didn't know what he's going to do in the future, whether he'd make it or not. He should have been making it today.
Unfortunately, yes.
Now, KC, this could be an opportunity. I know you probably said to yourself, I didn't think of this. I should tell them this. I should tell them that. Now it's the time to tell us.
MC, let me jump in here. What? The Missouri Chamber of Commerce would love to get out the tenants group, okay? Matter of fact, one of Ruby, Watson, okay, one of the ladies on the phone here, she received one of our scholarships early on that we gave out for the Blockchain Academy, where we're trying to help people right now. They're looking for jobs, they're looking for education in cryptocurrency, and we train them. We have scholarships, and we like to provide some to the Tenant Management Association also to help people make more money, and also put themselves up to get into a good paying job, paying $85,000 a year and up once you complete your training.
Okay, Tennis Association, you heard that. And a lot of people, how long has this been in existence? And what is your main mission? Or did you just tell us?
Well, we just, Missouri Chamber of Commerce and the National Chamber of Commerce, this is something we just created, okay? And that's why it's new in Missouri. And I'm actually, the person responsible, for awarding the scholarships. That's why I like to offer your group here on the telephone some scholarships for your people in the housing, in your group. So some of your members.
Let me ask you, the members of the KC Tenants Association, IAD Association, how important do you encourage people to get a better education? Some people might not even have a GED. What do you do to educate the people that the more education they can get, along with common sense, they should do?
Can I answer that?
Yes, you can.
This is Nessie, or AKA Ernesta Colburn, and I'm a proud leader with KC Tenant. And basically, in my opinion, first it takes a passion and a motivation to want to make a change. If you're not willing to make a change, then evidently you're sitting and falling by the wayside. So those that are passionate and want to do something about the hardships that you're going through and about the indiscretion and all of the racism and all of the other underlying issues that have been going on for centuries in our country, within the government, this is the time. We have found a voice, and now it's time to stand up and rise and do something about it, because the power is in the people, but the power is also in numbers. You can't do anything alone. You have to have people with you, and that's how you make a change.
Now, is this a yes to getting a better education or getting an education, period?
I don't think it has anything to do with education.
You better check that out.
With human, it has everything to do with the affordability of human rights. You have to know your human rights, and you don't need to be educated to know what you want for your human rights. So no, it's not about education. It's about wanting to live respectively, wanting to live comfortably, and wanting to live like everybody else, regardless of your income and your economic status. Everybody should be living comfortably. Nobody should be in poverty. And people that are in poverty should get more help than people that are rich, that are getting claims like taxes on donating to charities, and the money's not even going to the charities properly.
I hate to, no, I don't hate to disagree with you, but people have to be orientated or educated, or if they don't know, how would they know what to do and when they should do it?
Well, that's
okay, Ruth, take it.
Okay, so KC Tennis is really all about the tennis, and that's one of the things we do. We do attempt to educate our base members, and like I said, we also have a tenant bill of rights, which you can find on the city's website. So that's one way, and then we also sometimes have town halls and different things to bring awareness to our cause, and they can become educated that way as well about their rights as tenants.
Now that we're getting you guys fired up, talk to us.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take it away. Like I said, I've always been someone who's wanted to be an informant, because we need those, and I think that is what it's going to take to get the population involved, not just society in our neighborhood, the population, because people don't know their rights, and not everybody has access to the internet. Not everybody has access to the library, even though the library is free. They don't have time to go. They don't have the means to go. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you still can't sit in your house and just say what's not correct and not want to try to do something to change it. So KC Tenants gives you the opportunity to have a voice and to let your voice be heard. And evidently, it makes a difference, because the KC Tenants has already changed two major things in Kansas City. And I am so proud to be here. I am not a native of Kansas City. I moved here from Delaware. And Delaware, on the East Coast, I couldn't find a group like this. And so at the end of the day, I am so happy that my homeless situation spurred me here to Kansas City, Missouri. And that is where I found my voice with KC Tenants. And I was giving the KC Tenant hotline, and I called the hotline when I moved here. And I spoke with Magda, and Magda told me that because I was living my situation, they couldn't help me, in immediate wise. However, I did tell her that I was encouraged, and that it really made a difference to me the way she spoke with me and my experience with her, that I wanted to become a member of the organization that she represented at the time. And it just so happens I ended up joining in September. I moved here in May. I ended up joining in September. And I really regret that I didn't join in May. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
do think that formal education is not the only way to get people educated, and that it's not in the cards for some people, but I do think that we need more resources outside of that, as well as you have the opportunity and the means to go to school without it destroying you. I think that you should absolutely take that opportunity. It is an opportunity. It is something you don't want to pass up. I think that there need to be other resources for people who don't have those opportunities, and haven't had, the support that they needed to be in that position. And it doesn't mean that they should be discounted, but yes, I think that we all should be trying to get educated in some way, trying to find something that speaks to us and want to know about what's going on with our lives and what's happening and how we fit in the world. So I definitely am an advocate for it.
You know, this is a very interesting show for people who just tune in. That's why we try to have shows like that via Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio. The people can come on and spill the beam or enlighten people. Because a lot of people, like the media is so important. Well, I got this opportunity. The United Minority Media Association will hold a meet and greet, meeting the media personalities, the people who make the decision for the media outlets. It could be advertising, it could be marketing, it could be radio, TV, newspapers. And what we're doing as far as education is asking the different people who are the media personalities or hosts to bring a youth, somebody who's interested in the media, so we can keep this ongoing communication going. Because a lot of times our kids don't know. Now, we're in the electronic age, and a lot of the kids know how to operate things more so than us seniors do. And we need their help, so it's like working together. Since I brought that up, what are some of the ages or the age range of the members of the Kansas City Tennis Association?
Yeah. So we have little kids as young as one that come faithfully with their moms that show up with the kids. We have all the way up to teenage age. But we're multi-generational, multiracial, we organize across all lines, class, race, whatever. You will find everyone. If we represent everyone, you'll find some of everyone in there. You'll identify with people. We are close-knit and real community. We welcome everyone. And like I said, you name a type of person, we have it. Mm-hmm.
That includes senior citizens, in case anybody didn't catch that. And we don't discriminate regardless of your ability, whether you have some sort of a handicap. We don't discriminate against that either.
Is there any requirements for a person to join the group?
Yeah.
So call the hotline number. So if you want to get involved. And
Repeat that number, too, again.
It is 816-523-5435.
And I do believe that our website also offers for new members to fill out their information.
Yeah, there's a form out there.
And that is k2tennis.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, we still got probably a quarter of an hour left, and we'd like to get out as much information. And we're looking at this information as being very essential, especially to the people that really need this help. A lot of people might think they don't need the help until they get kicked to the curb. Like I stated earlier, where the sheriff or whatever come and sit all their stuff, or their stuff is sit out on the curb, and then they say, why didn't somebody enlighten me before?
That's right. And that is the point of let it get to that point. As soon as you start getting notices, as soon as, like, maybe a landlord is harassing you, as soon as you start hearing anything, even if it's just rumors, and you're not sure, give us a call. We can connect to the Heartland Center, who is working with us on representing tenants and eviction. They're doing really good at finding solutions and keeping people in their homes, so they're not homeless, and making deals between landlords and tenants, and really, really helping people through this process, especially in this crisis. So don't let it get that far. Even if you think that there's nothing that can be done and you're afraid, just call us.
And I'd like to add to that, before it gets there, if there are issues with repairs, issues with pest control, issues with anything that you're supposed to be getting for the rent that you're paying, then that's when you need to start taking action, because you start documenting stuff, and that gives you the leg up on the landlord. A lot of people don't realize that.
And again, in order for you to know your rights as a tenant, please visit the city website and look for a tenant bill of rights. And yes, we are working on some other things that would benefit the tenants. One of the things that we're working on is our People's Housing Trust Fund. We're still having to deal with some issues on that with the mayor, and but hopefully we did get awarded some funding for it, but it's not what we really want. And like I said, so we're still working on that. So the People's Housing Trust Fund would help tenants who are in like emergency situations. So we have that, but we will keep you apprised once it becomes the reality that we want it to be.
Okay, I know we're not taking a break now. I tell you that when people want to take it, we don't like dead air. Okay.
Okay.
For those of you who are wanting to maybe look up those ordinances, the one for the Senate Bill of Rights, there's a resolution and an ordinance. The resolution is number 190934. And that's the resolution 190934. And the actual Senate Bill of Rights ordinance is 190935. And that's 190935. So those are the two numbers for those ordinances if you want to take a look at those yourself. If you have any trouble understanding what they're saying, or you have a question about something there, again, call our hotline, 816-533-5435. We'd love to help.
I think all this is needed and long overdue. Approximately how many members are members of the KC Tenant Association? Now I know you got room for 3 or 4 more.
Oh yeah, we got room. We want everyone. If you're interested and you want to get involved in this work, and you just want to show up for rallies or come in to an event or whatever you want to do, or just connect with us, please, like I said, call that number. We will get you plugged in wherever you have the capacity and wherever you have the passion. We'd be happy to connect you. We want all of them to come together. I mean, so we wouldn't turn anywhere. We've got room for everyone. It's all of our fights. We're not doing well if the least of us are not doing. It's not okay. So, I mean, we've got to lift each other up, all of us, and that's what it's about. So, if you want to be a part of the tenants or anything that we're doing, please call us. We would love to connect.
Oh, you telling me y'all do? Educating our listening audience?
I will say, I didn't get a chance earlier. I think I was cutting out when we were talking about the Senate Bill of Rights. When we first started back in February of 2019, it was like our first real fight that we went after. And the gist of it is that, our eviction courts were, off the charts. There was, the numbers were super high. Our homeless numbers were going up, and on both sides of the problem, it was just getting out of control. And when we looked at what was on record, what was on law for landlord tenant court, it was all one-sided. All of the the laws that were written in landlord before we fought for the tenant bill of rights were in favor of the landlord. It didn't account for if you had things that were not working in your home, or you didn't have heat and stuff like that. It didn't really do a lot of accounting for, issues like mold and getting things done in a timely manner. It was really all about landlords getting their rent, and it didn't matter what else was going on. And they had the power to, give you notices and put you out in 3 days and 10 days and not take you to court, which are illegal evictions. So those type of things were happening, and there were no protections for tenants. So we just wanted to even the playing field, which we've been able to do. And it's working for everyone. Like I said, they're making deals with landlords. Landlords are actually making deals to get it paid, giving people time to get themselves together. The lawyers are there as a go-between to make sure that those commitments are met. And it's actually good for everyone. Everyone should want this. Everyone should want us all to be okay. If the people are staying in their homes, especially, with all the issues with homeless and stuff that we've been having. So.
Let me ask you this. What about the so-called absentee landlord that own property here, rent the property out, but they live out of state? How do you get to them?
We had, that is written into the Bill of Rights. It had a lot to do with what we were thinking about, because a lot of people didn't even know how to get a hold of their landlord. Didn't know what they, and they didn't have to disclose this information. So the Tenant Bill of Rights has now made it to where, you have to be, these landlords are being held accountable to be able to be reached by their tenants and to be available and to have all of this registered with, the county and all this stuff. So yes, it was a big problem. And still, people squeak through the cracks. So we fight for all of that stuff. If you know that that's happening, please contact us. We have some great researchers that can figure out who your actual landlord is. We'd be happy to help with those type of things. So it is tricky. It can be tricky, but that's why we need to pull our resources together and put our talents together so that we can make sure that we have those same resources and are able to have that same information so that we know what's going on as well.
Would you tell them about January zero evictions?
Zero eviction January, this past January, last year. It was the height of, right in the middle of the pandemic. There was a lot of evictions happening still here, even though the CDC had the moratorium. And it's like we had to do something. The number of homeless was going up tremendously. There were no rooms for them anywhere. And they weren't letting people in. There was capacity because of, the pandemic, and it was just really, really bad. There's a lot of people out on the street, and we lost a couple of people out there, in the cold and stuff like that. And it's just like we decided that we wanted to take a stand. We wanted to be heard. We wanted to at least follow the CDC moratorium and halt evictions long enough for people to be okay, especially with the pandemic. And they weren't even doing that here in our court. And so we decided that we were going to take a stand. And for Zero Eviction January, we planned events. We planned rallies at the houses of the judges that do eviction court. And it was like the longest month of our lives, but it was so necessary, and the love and the pouring out and the rallies, they were getting bigger and bigger, but we did get hurt. We did get one of the judges to extend the moratorium here in Kansas City at least for a couple weeks, and we made strides, but it was just like with all of that going on and that crisis, it was so much pull from both sides. Instead of pulling together, they were pulling, it was like a tug of war on, trying to get what we know the people needed and, what they would allow.
And how many people did we save from evictions that month? 3 or 4,000. I'm not sure. Yeah,
it was almost 1,000. It was like 90 that month. Altogether, it was like 3 or 4,000. Like that month was almost 1,000. We were like at 1,000 evictions that we were about. We stopped all of the online evictions and most of the ones in person. And then the ones that did go on, Heartland Center was able to intervene for tenants and have more favorable outcomes. I mean, we went to extreme measures to protect tenants. During this pandemic, we chained ourselves to the courthouse doors so that they could not hold court. I mean, we've had a couple of us get arrested for standing up in court and trying to stand up for people and make it be known that it was not okay to put people out on the street in the pandemic. It was a matter of public safety and all those things. So we've done some extreme things, but they were necessary. It was at a time when the country was in the world was in crisis, and people were afraid and they were being thrown to the wolves, and being put out on the street with no home when, the remedy is to wash your hands and stay inside, and you have no home and you can do neither. That was like a death sentence for people. So it was just disheartening, and we had to do something.
Did you guys say over 1,000 people for being evicted?
Yes, just in January, the last January.
And that's something you guys should be very proud of, and you should publicize in that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it on my show next week, okay? Matter of fact, you guys should have a press release run to CNN and anybody that will listen, any media outlets in the whole country. That is commendable.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you, Ira. We do have national recognition also, and we also have people. We have a store. It's called The Merch, where you can buy like KC Tenants merchandise. And I've noticed that a lot of people that don't even live in Kansas City are wearing KC Tenants T-shirts. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you say 1,000 people in their home, okay, that is something that's rare to be rare.
Yes.
I mean, and matter of fact, you should be very proud of yourselves, because if you save that many people, okay, individuals, okay, that is an unbelievable number of in the whole family, because most families have 3 or 4 people.
Exactly. Yeah, there's way more than 1,000 people, because most of those people have families with them. So.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's a lot of people.
It is, absolutely. And it's about the people. We just want to make sure that we're all okay. And we know that things happen, and we know that people go on hard times. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have support and picking yourself back up, and shouldn't have people standing beside you when you need to stand for yourself. So, we would like to be those people. We would love to connect with you. We will do everything that we can. We're known to be a little bit radical, sometimes exactly, but we're loyal, and we're there, and we fight for what's right. So,
yes,
you need something, and you need some help.
Well, being radical is what it takes, okay, to get your attention to what you're doing. Because you said, Richard, like Malcolm X, any kind of Richard, like whatever meaning it takes, okay, and you guys have proven that it actually worked the thing that you were doing. So if it was radical, it was successful.
Yes, and that's why I am very proud to be part of this particular organization, because at the end of the day, I've been one that's been complaining about the injustices within the system, but never found the group that I could become a part of to make a difference. And not only have I found the group, but they have made a difference, and that is the best part. That is the best reward that anyone can have. And the feeling is awesome. It gives you a feeling of having power, and that is important that people need. So joining this organization will give you power. It'll give you the voice that you need to be heard for the things that you care about.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all the listeners in the other countries on YouTube, Facebook, what's the other one? Apple TV. It's time for us to depart, but hopefully give a last minute how you can be contacted, and be sure to increase our listener audience, because that's the way, when Ira spoke earlier, getting the word out, and the people we reach, and you be a part of that group too.
You can reach us. Our website is kctenants.org. Our hotline number is 816-533-5435. My phone number is 816-772-6674. I'm the board president and organizer and leader with Casey Tenants. I'll be happy to get you connected. And my email is Ciana, CIANA, at kctenants.org.
I already tell the people about your show because our time, Scott gonna run us out here.
Can I say one last thing? We have association with Casey Stand Up, and what's the other one? The 15 for
Missouri workers.
Missouri workers. So any of these organizations, we are all working together. Join it, whatever your cause, join them.
I'll close us out.
Okay, well, our show comes on every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. lunch with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce, and we discuss all issues, and we're very proud to say we're going to have 7th year, and we're also proud to have MC as a part of our chamber. Also, this show here also was created through the Missouri Chamber of Commerce because MC is a proud member of our chamber, and we support our members.
Well, if you want to reach the United Minority Media Association or me, 816-822-8866, or visit our website at UMAHQKC1.org, and be sure to tune in for next Saturday's show, starting at 1 o'clock. What's the name of your show, Ira?
Lunch with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all very much. Now I'm going back to the game.
All right. Okay.